Hi everybody, I'm back to talk about my sporting news collection and some of the reasons why I collected and what my favorite aspects of the sporting news magazine was. So I'm going to start over here first with my sporting news collection from late July of 63, mid-July of 63 to end of 63. So as you can see, this was July 6th of 63, and I got every one of them. Like this one says December of 63. So I got AFL games covered in here. I got the World Series covered in here. And so I got them all from 1963 in binders to 1996. As you can see from there, I have doubles. I mean, massive doubles that I've carrying in my garage in boxes that obviously I have every one in the binders. So, one of the books I wanted to cover. Well, no, let me go back to sporting news. Why I like the sporting news was I always got my statistics from the newspaper, a magazine, but the newspaper didn't really put a whole lot of emphasis on game-by-game statistics. It was always a game summary. I wanted to know how many strikeouts a pitcher had. I wanted to know how many earned runs. And I wanted to know about, in football, I wanted to know about how many yards a game they got, stuff like that. Pictures were okay, but I liked the numbers especially. So the sporting news opened me up to when I was trying to piece together through the newspaper Nolan Ryan's games in 1973. I got thinking, why am I missing so many games? And I realized it's on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast or on the West Coast. But the sporting news had everything for 10 days in the binder, in the sporting news magazine, which was the best thing I ever got for a birthday present from my mom and dad. Ever since then, I got a subscription and kept it going. So I can touch back on this. If you have any questions or any issues you want to see, any years you want to see, I'll be glad to pull them out for you. But right now, I want to talk about my football. These are two of my best books when it comes to my cards. This book here is every Topps football card from the very beginning all the way to 1985. And this one here cost me $25 on eBay. But this one here I got at a local bookstore in Charleston, South Carolina. And it's a Topps baseball card book that came in its own, I don't know what you want to call it, a hardcover protector. It's a hardcover book all the way from the early 50s to the 85. And I've kept it in here, and this at that time cost me $79.99. But I see people are buying it for $25 and $30. So with all that said about those books, which I wanted to show you, I want to touch base on also these books right here that I collected. And if a lot of y'all remember, when you used to get what do you call it? Those teachers would bring in a form you would fill out, and you could buy these books over from there for like I don't know. Back then it was like 50 cents for me. But I got all the baseball from 1950, 1952 not 62 is when I started collecting these, the book, not the year. And I went all the way up to 1975. Now my football are the same thing. Every issue from, let me see what the last issue was. 63. I got one underneath this. So I got them from 63 to 73. And these were a favorite of mine. It brought back memories for my wife when she was in school. People would always come there, pick up money for your books, and you get them about 3 or 4 weeks later. Very exciting for me because I couldn't wait to just read my book from cover to cover. So basically, and I have a lot of these extra books, and it gives you an idea of how much I read these books. All these I got from a bookstore through years, and I used to wear the cover off these books. As you can see, this one here and this one here. I read so much and really kind of tossed it around a lot that you wouldn't take care of things back then. But I held on to it because I just want to go back to my childhood and see how things looked in a book and a magazine back then compared to now. And so again, my sporting news collection, my card albums going down, but this is all sporting news from here in the bottom and up top. Sporting news all the way through 1963, and baseball weekly from 91 on. I got more of these when about 10 more binders out in my garage that I have not put on my shelf. I'm running out of room. My wife says this den is about as good as she can give me as far as storage space. So like I said, if I'll have another video where I'm talking about things in collecting and things with the way the state of affairs in football and baseball I cannot stand. I'm still stuck in the game in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, a little bit of the 90s, but not as much. So with that said, leave me any comments you feel like you want to say, what you think you would do differently. Do I have this issue? If you wanted me to pull it out and look at it and so forth, just give me a holler. Thank you.